The vast chamber of the Galactic Space Council stretched like a cathedral of the cosmos, filled with delegates from hundreds of star systems. Towering crystalline spires refracted the swirling nebulae visible through the panoramic windows, casting prismatic light on the assembled leaders. Here the galaxy's power brokers convened, deciding the fate of civilizations and the course of interstellar diplomacy. In the middle of the grand hall, a cluster of seats remained conspicuously empty, until now. Ambassador Evelyn Rourke stepped forward, her dark uniform crisp and unadorned compared to the elaborate armors and ceremonial robes worn by the others. She carried herself with a quiet confidence born not of status, but of unyielding resolve. Around her, whispers blossomed like a wildfire. Is that the Earth delegate? Hardly a representative of any great power. Primitive, still shackled by pre-spaceflight technology a century ago. Perhaps they're here just for show. An exhibition of progress, if nothing else. Evelyn ignored the murmurs, her eyes scanning the chamber. The council, she knew, had never taken Earth seriously. A dusty, waterlogged world, isolated at the edge of the Milky Way, an insignificant player by galactic standards. The other delegates, with their sleek ships, centuries of spacefaring heritage, and advanced quantum technologies, considered humans quaint relics. The opening speaker, an ornately scaled representative from the Jarvex Dominion, droned on about galactic unity and the importance of inclusion, words laced with thinly veiled sarcasm as he gestured toward Earth's empty seat. When Evelyn finally took the floor, the room fell silent, curiosity piqued by the unexpected presence of a human ambassador. Her voice was calm, yet carried an undercurrent of steel. Today, Earth takes its first official step into the wider galaxy. For too long, humanity has been overlooked and underestimated. We come not as conquerors, but as equals. Laughter rippled through the back rows. A gelatinous delegate from the Cathar Collective chuckled, the sound like wet rubber, snapping. Equals? The humans can barely keep their own planet clean. How do they propose to contribute? Evelyn's gaze hardened. Earth has endured much. We have survived pandemics, wars, and near annihilation. From that crucible, we have learned resilience and ingenuity. You will come to understand that humanity's strength lies not in our fleets, but in our adaptability. Murmurs rose, half dismissive, half intrigued. As the session progressed, Evelyn took note of subtle shifts, a few delegates exchanging curious glances, a lessened sneer here and there. The council was underestimating humanity, for now, but beyond the pomp and ceremony, something darker brewed. Far beyond the council's luminous chamber, at the very edge of the Sol system, sensors flickered. A series of rapid gravitational fluctuations rippled through space near Jupiter's orbit, brief, irregular, but unmistakable. Council analysts scratched their heads. No known power was active in that sector, no spacecraft signatures. Yet something was moving, something bending space itself. Elsewhere, whispers emerged among smugglers and pirates in the outer rim. Entire fleets had vanished overnight, ships reduced to nothing but scattered wreckage floating in silence, the survivors missing or never found. The mysterious phenomenon had no name yet, only stories passed in hushed tones. The Dark Hand, the Unseen Hunter. The Council's intelligence networks buzzed quietly with unease, but no one connected these events to Earth. It was easier to believe that a natural anomaly or a new pirate tactic was at work. After all, how could the humans, still emerging from their planetary cradle, be behind such power? Back at the council, Evelyn received a discreet message through her secure channel. The text was brief but chilling. Dark fleet rising. Prepare. She allowed herself a faint, almost imperceptible smile. The joke was on them all. The chamber's doors sealed for the final ceremony. The council speaker, a towering figure from the Velnar sect, banged the gavel and announced, "Earth is now an official observer. Let it be known. No voice here is too small to be heard." As Evelyn took her seat, the ambient light dimmed, and the delegates' attention turned toward the starlit vista outside. In the shadow of distant planets, something waited. Silent, unseen, and deadly. Humanity was here, but it was far from helpless. And soon, the galaxy would have to reckon with the secrets Earth kept hidden in the darkness. The outer rim was lawless, a vast expanse where the Galactic Council's reach grew thin and rumors grew thick. Here, among the asteroid belts and frozen moons, pirate fleets carved out shadow empires. Space stations teemed with smugglers, mercenaries, and exiles who thrived on chaos. Yet even in this wild frontier, fear had begun to spread. Captain Jael Voss stood on the bridge of the Black Star, a heavily armed freighter running covert supply missions for a coalition of pirate clans. Her crew had seen their share of firefights and betrayals, but nothing prepared them for the eerie silence settling across the sector. "Status report," Jael commanded, eyes scanning the holographic sensor array. Multiple ship transponders, offline. Debris fields detected around the Karis cluster. No distress signals, no signs of battle. "It's like they vanished," her sensor officer replied, voice tight. Jael frowned. "How do fleets just vanish? That's not possible." "Captain, we're picking up weak gravitational anomalies near the wreckage. Not like anything we've encountered." Whispers ran through the Black Star's crew like a cold wind. Vanished. Fleets weren't rumors anymore. They were reality. That night, as Jael sat alone in her quarters, a decrypted message flickered on her private channel. The sender was unknown, encrypted, masked. "Dark matter hunters in the void. Avoid the Sol system. They are coming." Before she could reply, the message was cut off. The Black Star had orders to rendezvous near a mining colony on the edge of the system, but Jael hesitated. The usual bravado that shielded her from fear faltered. Meanwhile, far from pirate ports, the Galactic Council convened emergency sessions behind closed doors. Reports piled up. Entire fleets of smugglers, rebels, and even minor planetary defense forces had disappeared under mysterious circumstances. The Council's own scouts tasked with monitoring Sol had vanished without a trace. Council delegates who had mocked Earth now watched the news feeds with growing unease. The Jarvex Dominion sent urgent dispatches demanding answers, but the Council's intelligence divisions found no clues linking these events to any known faction. Evelyn Rourke, Earth's ambassador, remained silent, a calm mask hiding a storm beneath. She knew the rumors well, because she had seen the evidence firsthand. In a secluded briefing room on Luna's orbital station, Evelyn met with Dr. Malcolm Reyes, head of Earth's clandestine space defense program. "We can't keep this quiet much longer," Reyes said, his voice low. "The fleet's been active for months, intercepting threats before they reach Earth. But these disappearances, they're escalating." Evelyn nodded. "The Council won't listen to warnings until it's too late. They think we're primitive. They'll be shocked when the Dark Fleet reveals itself," Reyes said grimly. Outside the station's observation window, Jupiter loomed large, a swirling gas giant cloaked in storms. Beneath its clouds, the dark matter fleet lay hidden, imperceptible to all but the most advanced sensors. Their ships weren't just invisible, they moved through the folds of space-time, phasing between dimensions, hunting threats before they could strike. Back on the Black Star, Jael's worst fears were realized. As the ship approached the mining colony, instruments screamed warnings. The gravitational distortions intensified. "Everyone brace for impact," Jael shouted. Suddenly, the freighter was gripped by unseen forces. The hull creaked and groaned as the ship twisted and warped. Crew members screamed as they were thrown from their stations. Outside, ghostly shapes flickered. Ships unlike anything seen before. They shimmered in and out of visibility, phasing through space like living shadows. The dark matter fleet had arrived. Jael managed to send a fragmented distress signal. "Dark matter, hunting us. Avoid. Sol." Then silence. Weeks later, only drifting wreckage remained. No survivors, no salvageable technology. The Black Star and many others were erased from the maps as if they had never existed. Within the Council, fear grew. The dark matter hunters were no longer legend or rumor. They were a reality, a force no one understood and no one knew how to stop. When Evelyn addressed the council next, the room was charged with tension. Eyes that had once sneered at Earth now searched hers for answers. But Evelyn gave none. Instead, she spoke quietly, with a message that chilled even the most hardened delegates. Humanity has learned to defend itself in ways you cannot imagine. The Dark Fleet is not a threat to the galaxy, it is a promise that Earth will not be prey. A cold silence followed her words. Some smiled, thinking it a bluff. Others knew it was a warning. The council was stunned, and the galaxy's age of reckoning had just begun. The Galactic Space Council's chambers buzzed with barely concealed tension. The air was thick with anticipation and suspicion. Delegates from dozens of star systems leaned forward in their seats, eyes darting toward Earth's ambassador Evelyn, Orc. Their expressions ranged from skepticism to barely disguised hostility. The news of vanished fleets had spread like wildfire. Every delegate had received the fragmented drone transmissions, the eyewitness reports, the rumors whispered in back alleys of countless starports. Yet no one knew what to make of it. Until now. Evelyn stood calmly at the podium, her dark eyes scanning the room, absorbing the shifting moods like a seasoned predator. The council was demanding answers, but she had been trained to speak only when prepared, to reveal only what served her purpose. Council Speaker Tralix, a sinewy being from the Velnar sect with eyes like molten silver, cleared his throat. Ambassador Rourke, many in this chamber question Earth's refusal to disclose information about these incidents. We ask, what is the truth behind these disappearances near your system? Are these dark matter hunters you're doing? Evelyn's lips curved into a faint, enigmatic smile. Council Speaker, the truth is often stranger than fiction. What you call dark matter hunters are a necessary evolution of our defensive measures. Technologies born not of aggression, but survival. A chorus of scoffs and murmurs met her words. The Xylarian delegate, with translucent skin shimmering, faintly in the chamber's light, sneered. Survival, or a threat you dare not admit. Earth secrets endanger us all. Before Evelyn could respond, the chamber's communications suddenly glitched. Screens flickered. The gravity in the room shifted subtly but unmistakably. Delegates shifted uneasily in their seats, sensing a disturbance. Then the chamber went dark. Emergency lights glowed faintly as silence fell like a stone. The delegates exchanged alarmed glances. In the center of the chamber, a whispering pulse vibrated through the floor, an almost imperceptible warping of space. When the lights returned moments later, a strange phenomenon had occurred. Several delegates reported feeling a tug, as if gravity itself had shifted beneath them. Sensors briefly recorded anomalous gravitational waves, small, controlled, but undeniable. The incident sent a ripple of unease through the council. Had Earth's Dark Fleet already found a way to demonstrate power within the council's heart? Council Speaker Trelix's voice rang out, trying to restore order. This chamber will not be held hostage by subtle threats. Ambassador Rourke, will Earth share the technology behind these disturbances? Evelyn's gaze remained steady. The technology is not ours to share lightly. We face threats older and darker than this council can comprehend. To reveal too much too soon would invite chaos. Whispers turned into heated debates. The Cathar delegates slammed a tentacle on the desk. Your evasions breed distrust. We demand full disclosure or Earth risks isolation. Before tensions could erupt, an urgent message arrived on the Council's secure comm channel. The Council's Covert Intelligence Division had intercepted signals from a rogue fleet en route to Earth's outer system, cloaked warships with unknown intentions. Panic swept the chamber. Evelyn's voice cut through the chaos. Let me be clear. Earth does not seek war. But should any fleet attempt to breach our defenses, the Dark Fleet will respond with overwhelming force. A murmur spread. The Council's military representatives glanced nervously at each other. Few had weapons capable of challenging a fleet that bent gravity itself. Meanwhile, behind closed doors, shadowy figures gathered. In the Council's intelligence wing, an urgent briefing convened. Analysts pored over intercepted data, including the fragments recovered from the destroyed scout ships. The message was clear. Someone was weaponizing dark matter technology, and the source was Earth. Yet not everyone agreed. Counselor Vec, a silver-scaled diplomat with sharp eyes, leaned forward. We must consider that Earth's technology could be an opportunity, not just a threat. If we forge alliances, share knowledge, we may prevent disaster. His counterpart, General Couture of the Krill Ascendancy, sneered, naive. Earth's fleet upends the balance of power. It must be neutralized before it becomes a threat to us all. As these debates raged, Evelyn met secretly with her closest advisors. The message was clear. Trust was scarce. The Council teetered on the edge of chaos. More will come to test us, she said quietly. They think Earth is weak. We will show them otherwise. Outside the Council's marble towers, the galaxy held its breath. Unseen by all, ships from the Dark Fleet glided through space, silent, shadowy, and lethal. The vanishing fleets were only the beginning. The question on everyone's lips: when and where would humanity strike next? Deep within the shadows of the Sol system, a covert operation was unfolding. The Arxan Dominion strike force, the Vigilant Shadow, slipped past the Council's patrol grids with practiced ease. Their mission was clear: infiltrate Earth's orbital space, gather intelligence on the mysterious fleet, and, if possible, capture any data on the so-called dark matter technology. Captain Merrick Denal stood on the bridge, his gray eyes sharp as the stars outside. His crew was elite, hand-picked for stealth and precision. No one believed Earth's warnings. They thought the Dark Fleet a bluff, a political smokescreen to mask primitive defenses. Sensors hummed softly. The gas giant Jupiter loomed ahead, its swirling storms hiding more than just weather. Approaching designated observation point, reported Lieutenant Sarah. Sensor anomalies increasing, gravity distortions within expected range for dark matter activity. Merrick nodded. Maintain. Stealth. Keep comms dark. Suddenly, the Vigilant Shadow's sensors went haywire. Captain, sensors are losing lock. Systems fluctuating. Something is interfering with our subspace fields. Before Merrick could order evasive maneuvers, the ship shuddered violently. Invisible hands seemed to grasp at the hull. The crew was thrown off balance as gravity warped unpredictably, bending and twisting the vessel's frame. Brace for impact, Merrick shouted, gripping the railing. The bridge alarms blared, instrument panels flickered, then blacked out. The Vigilant Shadow was trapped inside a gravitational cage, an unseen prison. Outside the viewport, eerie shadows flickered, ships pulsing in and out of reality like ghosts. They're here, whispered Sarah. Dark matter vessels. They're phasing through space. A chilling realization spread. The fleet wasn't just invisible. It operated beyond conventional physics, moving through dimensions beyond sensor reach. The Vigilant Shadow fired photon torpedoes, but the shots passed harmlessly through the phasing ships, absorbed or redirected by gravitational distortions. One of the ghostly vessels surged forward, unleashing a pulse of warped gravity. The Vigilant Shadow's hull groaned under impossible stresses. Systems failed one by one. Communications went silent. "Captain, we're breaking apart," shouted the tactical officer. With a final deafening crack, the strike force's flagship imploded inward, crushed by forces unseen. Somewhere nearby, a small drone detached from the wreckage. Its mission: escape and report. Weeks later, Council analysts stared at the grainy, fragmented transmissions the drone had sent, a haunting record of the final moments. The images showed ships flickering in and out of visibility, vessels bending, space and crushing steel with gravity like a living weapon. But the most disturbing data came from the drone's logs, captured whispers in a language no one recognized, overlaid with quantum signatures resembling human thought patterns. The Council was silent, shocked into paralysis. Back on Luna's orbital station, Evelyn watched the feed with cold detachment. They underestimated us, she said softly. They thought we were easy prey. Behind her, Dr. Malcolm Reyes nodded grimly. Our fleet is unlike anything they've faced. We don't just hide in shadows, we control them. Evelyn turned to the holographic display of the dark matter. Fleet, ships constructed of shifting energy and exotic matter, their hulls shimmering like liquid night. These vessels are not built for offense, she explained. They exist to protect, to deter. But make no mistake, they can annihilate. Meanwhile, rumors leaked back to the Council's factions. Fear spread like wildfire. The Orcs and Dominion's lost strike force was a stark warning. Earth's dark matter fleet was no myth. Yet many still refused to believe the full extent. Councillor Vec cautioned restraint. We must seek dialogue. War with Earth could destroy us all. General Couture spat. We cannot allow such power to remain unchecked. Earth's arrogance will be their undoing. As these rivalries simmered, Evelyn prepared her next move. The, dark matter fleet was ready, not to strike first, but to end the age of complacency. In the vast cold void beyond the Council's reach, something waited, silent, unseen, and inevitable. Humanity's reckoning had begun. The Galactic Space Council's Grand Chamber was packed beyond capacity. Screens lined the walls, flickering with live feeds from the outer reaches of the Sol system. Every delegate, every observer, waited, some with dread, others with barely concealed excitement, to witness what Earth's ambassador Evelyn Rourke promised to reveal. The tension was palpable. The vanished fleets, the unexplained gravitational anomalies, the destroyed strike forces, all pointed to one terrifying truth. And now, the galaxy's most skeptical minds were about to see it for themselves. Evelyn stepped to the podium, her calm demeanor masking the weight she carried. She raised a hand and the room's holographic displays shifted. Across the stars behind her, images of ships began to materialize. They were unlike anything the galaxy had seen before. Sleek, angular, vessels flickered in and out of visibility, their forms shimmering with an ethereal glow. Their hulls pulsed with energy that twisted light itself, warping the space around them, bending gravity like a conductor commanding an orchestra. The footage switched to a battle replay, a known pirate armada approaching a mining convoy near Jupiter's orbit. Suddenly, the pirates' ships began vanishing one by one, swallowed by invisible forces. A shadow fleet emerged, unseen by all but the most advanced sensors. It moved with precision, striking before the pirates could react. Within minutes, the pirate armada was shattered, disabled, disarmed, and surrendered without a single shot fired. The chamber fell silent. Council Speaker Trelix's voice broke, the quiet trembling with disbelief. Ambassador Rourke, what exactly are we witnessing? Evelyn's eyes scanned the room, meeting the wide, stunned gazes of the galaxy's most powerful leaders. This, she said, voice steady, is humanity's dark matter fleet, a defensive armada built on technology that manipulates gravity and space-time itself. Our ships phase between dimensions, rendering them invisible and untouchable to conventional weapons. Gasps and murmurs spread. The Krill Ascendancy's delegate stood abruptly. This changes everything. It does, Evelyn continued. Earth's long isolation forced us to innovate in secret. While others expanded fleets of visible firepower, we harness the unseen forces that bind the universe. Our fleet protects our people, and will protect those who honor peace. A sharp voice cut through the chamber. Or threaten those who do not, snarled General Couture, his eyes blazing. Evelyn nodded. Make no mistake, the dark matter fleet is a shield and a warning. We do not seek conquest, but we will not be prey. The room erupted into a chorus of debate, some voices pleading for cooperation, others calling for disarmament or preemptive strikes. Suddenly, the holographic displays shifted again. A new message appeared, live footage from Earth's orbital command center. A dark matter ship phased into view, slowly approaching a Council scout vessel that had been monitoring Sol. The scout's sensors failed instantly. The Dark Fleet ship pulsed gravitational waves that disabled the scout systems without harming the crew. The scout captain hailed the council, his voice calm but urgent. This is not aggression. It is deterrence. Earth's fleet disables us but makes no attack. We are being tested. The chamber quieted. Evelyn's voice softened. The Dark Fleet chooses restraint. It operates on principles you must learn to understand. Counselor Vec stepped forward. Ambassador, your reveal has shaken us all. Will Earth share this technology to ensure galactic stability? Evelyn's smile was faint, almost sad. Such power carries great risk. It is not a gift to be handed lightly, but neither is it a weapon to be feared without cause. Behind her, Dr. Malcolm Reyes appeared in a holographic transmission, adding gravitas. The fleet's AI pilots merge human intuition with quantum algorithms, making them unpredictable and adaptive. This is humanity's greatest strength, the fusion of mind and machine. As debates raged, secret council factions began to maneuver. Some sought alliances, others plotted sabotage. The power balance was fracturing, yet amid the turmoil, Evelyn's message was clear. The Dark Fleet was here and the galaxy could no longer ignore humanity. The final image on the screen lingered. A dark matter ship, silhouetted against the swirling storms of Jupiter. A silent sentinel guarding Earth's doorstep. Evelyn's closing words echoed through the chamber. We come not to conquer but to protect. To those who threaten peace, know this. Humanity will not be the hunted. We are the hunters now. The aftermath of the unveiling left the Galactic Space Council fractured. Some saw humanity's dark matter fleet as a beacon of hope, a technological marvel that could redefine galactic security. Others viewed it as an existential threat, a silent predator lurking in the void, ready to impose Earth's will. In the sprawling corridors of the Council's space station, whispers echoed between. Delegates' deals were brokered in secret alcoves and spies moved unseen. The chamber where peace was supposed to be forged now simmered with distrust. Counselor Vec, the proponent of cautious cooperation, convened a private meeting with like-minded diplomats. The room was small, dimly lit, filled with the soft hum of translation devices and the faint scent of exotic spices. We cannot afford to isolate Earth, Vec argued. Their fleet is a fact. We must find a way to integrate their technology, carefully but without hostility. The Xylarian delegate, her translucent skin flickering with agitation, countered sharply. How do you trust a race that reveals such power only when cornered? We have no idea what they might do next. From the shadows, a voice interjected. Trust is earned, not demanded. It was Ambassador Tarun, the stoic representative from the Hathari Conclave, a species known for their inscrutable diplomacy and mastery of subterfuge. He had been silent since the unveiling, observing, calculating. Earth's fleet has disrupted the balance, but they have not declared war. We must engage them on terms favorable to us. Meanwhile, Evelyn Rourke met secretly with her advisors in the lower decks of Luna's orbital station. The public display had succeeded, but the real battle was just beginning. We've forced their hand, she said, eyes narrowed. Now comes the harder part, convincing them that cooperation with Earth is their only chance to survive. Dr. Malcolm Reyes leaned over a holographic map dotted with council factions and military outposts. Our technology can save billions, if we share it selectively. But too much too soon risks sabotage or worse. A sudden alert interrupted them. A secure transmission from Earth's dark matter fleet. Unknown fleet detected. Approaching Sol at high speed, the message warned. Evelyn's jaw tightened. They're testing us again. Back in the council chamber, the news sent shockwaves. General Kator demanded an immediate strike force to intercept the incoming vessels, but Council Speaker Trelix urged restraint. Earth's fleet is unmatched in these shadows, Trelix cautioned. Any aggression could spark a war none of us can win. Despite warnings, fleets from the Krill Ascendancy and Arxan Dominion mobilized under covert orders. They planned to catch the dark matter ships off guard, believing their stealth would give them the upper hand. As the combined fleets moved into position, the dark matter ships appeared, not with the flash of weapons, but with a slow, deliberate phasing through space. They emerged from their dimensional shadows around a remote asteroid field near Jupiter, where council ships had gathered. The ensuing encounter was unlike any battle recorded. The council's vessels found their weapons ineffective. Energy pulses, bent around the dark fleet's ships like water around stones. Attempts to lock targeting systems failed as ships vanished and reappeared unpredictably. Then, the dark fleet struck, not with lasers or missiles, but with precision gravitational waves that disabled engines and communications. Council ships drifted helpless, caught in an invisible net. In the aftermath, several council commanders sent urgent messages pleading for parley. Evelyn authorized a rare open communication channel. Her voice was steady, authoritative. This demonstration is not an act of war. It is a warning and an invitation to join us or stand aside. Council factions reeled. Some interpreted it as a challenge, others as an olive branch. The Hathari ambassador's words echoed. Earth is no longer the galaxy's weak link. They are the shadow that watches all, and the hand that will shape the future. Across the political spectrum, alliances shifted. The Council's old rivalries now had a new center, humanity. And as the dark matter fleet phased silently back into the void, one truth remained clear. No one could ignore Earth anymore. The galaxy stood on a knife's edge. The delicate balance between cooperation and conflict wavered, threatening to collapse under the weight of fear, pride, and ambition. The Galactic Space Council was fractured, its once unified voice now a cacophony of accusations and demands. Humanity, too, felt the pressure, bearing the mantle of power while wary of its cost. On Luna's orbital command center, Ambassador Evelyn Rourke and Dr. Malcolm Reyes reviewed the latest intelligence. The rogue fleets that had been lurking near the Council's borders were increasing in number and boldness. Hidden coalitions, fearing Earth's rise, were preparing for a decisive confrontation. Their desperation is growing, Malcolm said grimly. They know the dark matter fleet can outmatch conventional forces, so they're gathering every advantage they can. Evelyn nodded, her expression steely. They seek to challenge us before we fully deploy. We cannot let them. Suddenly, alarms blared. A live feed showed clusters of Council warships massing near the outer asteroid belt, their formations tight, their weapons primed. The Krill Ascendancy and Arxan Dominion fleets had united under a secret alliance. Determined to strike at Earth's heart. Orders? Malcolm asked. Prepare the fleet, Evelyn replied. This ends soon, one way or another. Out beyond the asteroid belt, in the shadowed corridors of space, the dark matter fleet prepared. Captain Mara Kellen stood on the bridge of the Eclipse, the fleet's flagship, a vessel that seemed to flicker between reality and something else entirely. Her voice was calm but resolute. Engage dimensional phase shielding, weapon systems to stand by. The crew worked with precise efficiency, their minds linked through the fleet's quantum neural network. Unlike the Council's fragmented command, humanity's fleet moved as one, each pilot an extension of the others, synchronized in thought and purpose. Scouts report enemy fleet closing in fast, her tactical officer warned. Mara's eyes flicked to the holographic display. The enemy forces looked formidable, bristling with energy cannons and missile arrays. But to her they were slow, predictable, blinded by their reliance on brute force. They'll never catch what they can't see, Mara said softly. Ready. The graviton nets. The battle began in silence. The Council's fleet surged forward, weapons blazing. But the dark matter fleet was everywhere and nowhere, phasing through space, their ships untouchable as shadows flickering at the edge of perception. Gravitational pulses wrapped around Council ships like invisible chains. Engines failed, weapons died, communications dropped. Panic rippled through the enemy ranks. Mara's voice was steady, almost cold. Deploy phase disruptors. Target command vessels. One by one, Council flagships were ensnared, their crews rendered helpless. Suddenly, a massive gravitational wave tore through the battlefield, distorting space-time itself. Ships twisted and writhed under the invisible force, fracturing, imploding. On the Council's side, the battle commander's voice cracked over comms. "We are overwhelmed. Retreat to secondary formations." But retreat was chaos. The dark, fleet's shadowy tendrils pursued relentlessly, cutting off escape routes, isolating pockets of resistance. On Luna, Evelyn watched the live feed with a mix of pride and sorrow. This was the cost of survival. Suddenly, a direct message came through, encrypted, from an unknown source. "This war is not your choice alone. Beware the true enemy hiding in the shadows." Evelyn frowned. "Who sent this?" Malcolm shook his head. "Unknown, but it matches patterns we've seen. Signals embedded within the dark matter phase signature. Someone else is manipulating the battlefield." The revelation hit hard. While humanity and the Council fought, a hidden force watched, waiting. Meanwhile, in the void beyond the battle, a shadowy figure observed through distorted space. An alien presence older than the Council, older than Earth's history. Its form shimmered, impossible to describe in human terms. "They are not ready," it murmured, voice like the grinding of stars. "But the reckoning approaches." Back on the Eclipse, Mara received final orders. The battle was turning. The dark matter fleet had proven its dominance. "Prepare for final phase," Mara said. "This ends now." As the dark fleet surged forward, Earth's message rang across the void. "We will not be the hunted. We are the hunters now." And the galaxy braced for the storm to come. The void was silent but for the faint hum of energy fields and the distant pulse of stars. In this vast emptiness, the final battle for the galaxy's future was about to be decided. Captain Mara Kellen stood on the bridge of the Eclipse, the flagship of humanity's dark matter fleet. The crew around her were steady, their minds linked in perfect synchronization through the quantum neural network. They felt as one, a living web of thought and will. "Final phase protocols engaged," Mara announced, her voice firm. "All ships maintain formation Delta 9. Target enemy command vessels." Outside, the Council's combined fleet, ravaged but still formidable, scrambled to regroup. Their energy cannons flared, desperate to find a target they could hit. But the dark fleet was already slipping through dimensions, phasing unpredictably, unseen and untouchable. "Engage graviton nets," Mara commanded. "Lock on. Invisible." Chains of warped gravity snared the Council's flagships, halting their escape. Engines groaned and died. Communications fizzled out like distant stars burning out. Suddenly, a massive gravitational pulse rippled through the battlefield, a calculated strike that fractured space-time itself. Entire squadrons collapsed inward, their hulls crushed by forces they could not resist. Back on Luna, Ambassador Evelyn Rourke watched the live feed. The galaxy was witnessing humanity's power, both awe-inspiring and terrifying. A sudden, encrypted transmission interrupted her thoughts. "The true enemy waits in the dark. Beware the puppeteer." Evelyn's brow furrowed. "Malcolm, this signature, it's not human." Dr. Malcolm Reyes shook his head. "An unknown intelligence manipulating both sides, possibly ancient, possibly beyond us." In the chaos of war, a shadowy presence moved unseen, weaving a web of influence across the Council and Earth alike. Meanwhile, within the Council's ranks, General Couture's forces fought fiercely, but were overwhelmed by the precision of the Dark Fleet. His flagship was ensnared by graviton nets, systems failing one by one. "Ambassador Rourke," he growled bitterly over comms, "you may have won this battle, but the war is far from over." Mara's voice cut through the static. "The war you feared has begun. The question is who will survive it." Suddenly, the Eclipse's sensors flared with an anomaly, a massive energy signature emerging near the battlefront. It was unlike anything the fleet had seen. A colossal vessel, shimmering with ancient power, veiled in dark matter that pulsed with sentient intelligence. The shadowy figure that had been watching from afar revealed itself. a remnant of a long-lost civilization, the true puppeteer behind the current chaos. It had awakened, intent on reclaiming its dominion over the stars. "Prepare for engagement," Mara ordered. "This is the enemy we were warned about." The colossal vessel unleashed waves of gravitational energy that tore at the fabric of space. The dark matter fleet strained against the assault, but its unity held. Evelyn's voice resonated across the command net. "All units, focus fire on the ancient vessel. This ends now." In a breathtaking display of coordination, the fleet's ships synchronized their phase drives and graviton projectors, focusing their combined might on the invader. A titanic battle erupted, not just of weapons and ships, but of wills and ancient forces. The colossal vessel roared in defiance, warping space around it, but the dark fleet's relentless precision began to wear it down. At the climax, Mara launched a daring maneuver, phasing the eclipse directly inside the enemy's gravitational core, triggering a chain reaction of implosions. The ancient vessel shattered, its dark matter dissipating like a dying star's final breath. Silence returned. The Council's fleets, battered but alive, ceased fire. The true threat had been revealed and defeated, for now. Evelyn addressed the galaxy with a voice both solemn and hopeful. "This war has shown us our limits and our potential. Humanity stands ready to lead, not through domination but through alliance and understanding." Council Speaker Tralix nodded, his voice heavy with newfound respect. "The galaxy has changed. We must change with it." And so, from the shadows of fear and conflict, a fragile peace emerged, guarded by humanity's dark matter fleet, the silent hunters in the void. The galaxy would never be the same.